What's up? Starting out to be a slow week already. It's Tuesday night. So got my conduit off up here Monday. I started in Fort Smith, Arkansas. So I started making those drops. I had 5 drops, and they all belong to the one company. The last drop, the 5th drop, was actually the guy that bought all of it, and I just made his deliveries all the way up from Fort Smith all the way up to Oklahoma City. And so I started at Fort Smith early in the morning. I got there Sunday night. I spent the night, and I was there when they came in. The first guys came in at like, 7 o'clock in the morning. I was there waiting on them. But those guys came in there, oh man, I'm the desk guy, I'm part sales, I'm this. They were everything except forklift driver. Oh yeah, he ain't gonna be here till 8 o'clock. So I sat around a couple hours waiting on the forklift driver to get there. Long story short, he finally came, but that kind of seemed like that set the ball rolling. I did everything on time, everything I possibly could. It's a truck, the old saying, it's not an airplane. So, man, I went from there to Rogers to Pittsburgh, making stops all along the way. The one people, when I got there, they were at lunch. So when I get to the 4th and 5th stop, they're literally in the same business parking. You had the row of buildings here and a row of buildings here. And Border States Electric Supply was right here. And right across from them was the last drop, the guy that owned all the stuff. 3 o'clock, receiving from 8 to 3. It was 3:18 when I rolled up there. Sorry we can't unload you today. Come on, man, it's your stuff. I've made all your deliveries for you. I've hustled, I've worked, I've got 7, 8 hours in these deliveries already. Nah, it's gonna be tomorrow. Damn. You're really gonna leave me sitting here? I can't go home. I'm not from here. No, it'll be tomorrow. Well, they sat there till 5 o'clock. They were there for 2 more hours. And there's 10 or 12 of them. Me as a guy, I live by a man code. I wouldn't let that happen. If I worked on that dock, I'd grab a forklift. It was about 15 minutes worth of pig, just a couple of bundles of conduit. But that's what you run across sometimes. Everybody doesn't see it from our point of view, I guess. I would never let the truck set like that. It's like, man, you made these stops. Come on, let me pull this off for you real quick. Go on about your way. So I was only 8 miles from the nearest truck stop. Went down, man, had some Chapalas. Went to Chapalas across the street. Walked over and had some really good Mexican food. Had some good sleep. Went over there to deliver this morning. So last night and this morning, while I was at the truck stop after dinner, and this morning I took a couple looks at the load board. Really wasn't seeing a lot. So I went on over. I came over here. I'm in Oak Grove, Missouri now at the Big Petro. And I looked, and after a while, you don't play spot market. You don't always live on the spot market. You've got your main contacts. If I'm pulling my reefer, I got one guy I'm going to haul for most of the time. Here, I've got probably a dozen go-tos, and if the spot market's not looking good, I start sending out the texts. And my guy that I load steel for up here didn't have anything, but he said, hey man, if something comes up, I'll holler at you. That usually means you're not going to get nothing. But damn, sure enough, 3 or 4 o'clock today, he texts me, lets me know he's got me a load. So, hey, all is well, but it loads tomorrow. So now it's going to be Wednesday, I'm loading, and I'm only going to Indiana. But the rate per mile is really good. But it's just going to be one of those slow weeks. But no big deal. Me and a buddy were talking the other night, and I learned something a long time ago, and it came from another friend. But he reminded me, you have to learn to be still. You have to learn to be still and be patient. And me and QT talk about this all the time. My load's out there. Might not see it right now. Nobody's calling me. Not finding on the load board, but my load's out there. Just don't get hasty. Take something because you feel you have to run, and that's the situation so many guys are in right now. maybe they're not right. You know, they got in a little deep with their truck and their trailer when times were really, really good. So when times get slow like this, you know, you pull up on a load board in an area that used to, you could pull up 125 mile radius of city X, and there would be, you know, 2,500 loads in a 125 mile radius. And now there's like 150 loads. You know, where did all it's just down on freight. When there's not a lot of freight, there's a lot of trucks, nothing's going to pay good. So it's double whammy. And then combine it with high fuel. Guys are feeling it, so they're, you know, too many people are grabbing stuff in a hurry and just, oh, gotta move. But I think it helps to be able to be still. Just be still, be patient, and it'll come to you. You know, it usually does. Last week, man, not last week, the week before last week, I went home. My last trip out was in Ohio, and I'm seeing all these loads. You know, Ohio's usually pretty good. The next thing you know, I land a load. You know, well over 1,000 mile load. I mean, it was a good long load, but I got $4.63 a mile. Guys said, "Oh man, I can't even get $3 a mile." You know, these guys haul a $2 a mile. I sat. I wasn't in a hurry. I was comfortable where I was, and it finally popped up, and man, I jumped. I grabbed it. I'm not telling everybody how to truck or what they need to do or how they should run their business, but it's just a suggestion. Man. Sometimes it works for me. Some things don't work for everybody. I see that being an issue for some guys. You know, just whoa up, man. Be patient and make intentional moves. You're getting a lot less trouble. So I'm headed to Indiana. I was also asked, you know, how does these times, we're in really crazy times, how does this compare to 2009? And I don't know, it really doesn't, because even though the rates were down, there was still stuff to haul, and the fuel wasn't through the roof. But I tell you, I'll give you a scenario. The worst it got for me in 2009, and I had to start, and I really had to start making changes. I would go up to the Northeast, make drops, usually tomatoes, multi-drops, shoot over to Virginia, bring the dairy back down to Publix in Lakeland. And I'd do this over, and usually I'd have to do it twice a week. Because what ended up happening at the very worst of it, after fuel and everything, I'd get my check, it'd be $1,200. And back then, with that truck and that particular trailer I had, it took about $900 every week to cover the truck, the trailer, and the insurance for the month, you know. So $1,200 after fuel and brokerage, I get the check. It's a $1,200 check. I take 9 out of that. I got $300. I told my guys, I'm like, man, you know, I could go to work at Circle K and sell beer, cigarettes, and gas and do better than $300. I got to make a move. So the change I made then was going long. The rate still wasn't really high, but it seemed to work out, you know, just instead of a bunch of little loads. I know some guys right now are doing shorter loads, staying closer to home, and they're doing all right, but sometimes that works. Sometimes, you know, everybody's got a different situation, but that worked back then. You know, I got out to Arizona and rode from Arizona to Massachusetts, just long miles. Then worked my way back. To get back was another whole trick, but it took multi-loads, you know, just here to here to here to get back, and then quite a bit of deadhead. But that seemed to work, stretching it out longer miles, even without good rate. Less rate but longer miles seemed to work. But hang on, man. I'll call you back. So I also hear people say you need to just go park the truck. Go park the truck, you know, while the rates are down. I've done that. I sat for a whole month. You know, hell, half the time I'll come out here and I'll run a week or two, maybe 3, and then I'll go home and sit. I'd rather be home. You know, my bills are kind of low, but no matter what, you end up diving into savings. How long are you going to sit? That's the big question. Okay, everybody, Oh, go park your truck until these rates come up. What are you gonna do? You're gonna eat the payment on the insurance. You got an authority. You have to keep your insurance active. So what are you gonna do? You can't just go, just set forever. And so far, what are we, 6 months into this deal? Well, I guess maybe more than that. Right? It's February, March. We started feeling it. But how long is that? What's the answer to that question? How long do you sit? Or do you go home, shut the insurance off, put your authority on hold, and get a job with somebody? I guess if your situation's in that, if you have that situation, you don't have a truck payment or a trailer payment, I can do that. Then you're not contributing to the decline of our industry with these low rates. I don't know. That guys, go get your own freight. I don't believe there's going to be brokers that take big time advantage of this, and hopefully they'll come back and get them. But for the most part, I just think, shippers too. The brokers are going through the same thing. People don't have to pay; they're not going to. They're going to keep their money, and they're getting away with it. But I don't know who's to blame. It doesn't really matter. But people say go get direct freight. QT's been out, doing some research and knocking on some doors. And I was in-house truck for a lot of years down there in Central Florida, Polk County. That's not always the right ticket either. You don't necessarily make more money. You have steadier work, but there's nothing guaranteed. When they get slow, you're going to sit there too. Right now, since we moved to North Florida, we approached new customers up there, and nobody needs the truck. They can't work the trucks they currently have. So it's slow for the shippers. Just, we're going through a recession. And I don't know. I don't watch a lot of the news because it pisses me off. So I try not to watch too much of it. But pretty serious recession, and everything is slow. So yeah, you go get a direct customer. What good does that do if that customer doesn't have anything for you to haul? And you're not the only one there. So that's what we're running into a lot too. They have trucks and they can't keep busy. So direct freight, go get you some if you can find it. I don't know that it's any different than being out here on the market. But those are the things that were on my mind that I'd talk about a little bit since I've got time to set. So it's different. It's different than 09. It's really different. The rates fell off to really low, and the fuel went sky high. And that's not how it normally goes. This one's rare. And you combine it with a big recession when there's nothing to haul. So hey man, I don't know. Just hang on. I leave home like I did this time, and I said it earlier. I don't leave with a game plan. I'm gonna go out here and chase the dollars, chase the money. And when I'm satisfied with what I have, I have a certain amount that I know I have to make. But I'm just gonna go out here and ride until I get what I need or what I want, or I'm homesick. But yeah, it's good. You can say, hey man, I need to make $6,000 before I go home. I need to make $8,000 before I go home. I think the $12,000 and the $14,000 weeks are over for a while. But I don't even do that. I chase money. If I'm doing good, I'll stay out longer. But I don't know. Just buckle up, hang in there. I know these are odd, crazy times. I'm so thankful for what I get every time I had a good load coming out here. I had to work for it. I didn't. If I had my way like a lot of people, hey, I just want to run across I-10 to Houston and back to Florida. Yeah, it's a gravy train run. It's not going to pay anything because everybody wants to run that. But I took a load with multi-stops. Got up here where it's not that great. Put the word out and ended up landing a pretty decent load. It's not long miles, so it's going to give me a shorter week. So I'll have to make up for it Thursday or Friday I'll have to keep going east and then try to get long coming back west, and I'll end up with a good week. And then we start over again. God, my sinuses, man, I have allergies out here every time I get out here. The allergies go crazy. But all right, guys, there goes a load of onions. Onions are starting to move. In Idaho, it's harvest time. The rates aren't that great. Just not. I guess they don't have to be. There's plenty of guys to haul it. So good luck, everybody. I've had my shower. Truck's ready to go for in the morning, so I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go to bed, get up at about 7, ease on over there and be ready to load and head to Indiana. So we got a 60 foot of rebar. So long load. That's why it pays good, by the way. It's long and no sweat. Just get that over to Indiana, and then from there maybe go a little bit farther east, and then take a long one on Thursday afternoon or Friday, go back west. That'll give me a nice week. We'll work it like that. So until we get over and get our steel, see you on the next one. See ya. Truck it up.